Hey, everybody. How you guys doing today? With me, I got my lovely co-host, Mina. Unfortunately, the other co-host, Filia Noctis, is down sick. So you guys could, if you guys could send her some well wishes and positive vibes, that'd be much appreciated. And with me today are very special guest, returning, um, none other than Mr. Lone Wolf. What's going on, Wolf? How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? It's Lone Wolf here. I'm doing pretty good, PA. I hope everybody hears me okay, because I remember the last time I was on here, the audio wasn't that great from my part, mostly because I was using Discord on my phone, but now I've switched to my computer, so I hope the audio is a lot better.
Yeah, you sound solid, man. I just turned up the volume for a hot second to listen to the stream, and I could hear you crystal clear.
Sweet.
So
What's
we
up,
could hear
horse?
that howl of yours from off in the distance.
Feeling kind of antsy lately, so maybe there's a full moon coming out tonight.
Just remember, everyone, he is the loneliest wolf of them all, and he could use more friends.
Yeah, 525
Yes, it goes.
pack members is not enough.
Must have more.
Yeah, must have 1,000.
Yeah, yeah, I want that as well. I actually finally, after months of struggle, I finally broken the 660 mark. I'm only 5 away from hitting the mark of the beast.
Oh, horse, there's a blood moon out on Sunday. Oh, that's interesting. I've been so hungry. Yeah, I
On the
I was
blood
I've been so
moon.
hungry.
On the blood moon, that's when he transforms into his final form. Where Garurumon? For anybody who watched Digimon. Wolf, did you watch Digimon?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, it was a show that was sort of like Pokemon back in the day. It's been off the air for a while, so it's understandable if he hasn't heard of it. But there was a Digimon. It was like first it was Gabumon, then it was Garurumon, and then at his final form, his final normal evolution was Garurumon, so it became a werewolf. So I was making the joke on the blood moon. You become a werewolf and you hit your final form.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'll become a werewolf, but I'll definitely have the ferocity of a werewolf.
Oh, nice.
What's up, Pimp Demon? She said it's like Pokemon with guns. Okay, well, I'm not a Pokemon fan, so that pretty much explains it. Hmm. Hmm.
Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, if you guys haven't seen it, Bard actually does a stream on here, and every now and again you get to watch him whip some people's butts in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's always entertaining. I have no idea what they're doing 90% of the time, but it's always entertaining. uh, so well, it probably is true. I know Cat Lionheart likes to play with the Blue Eyes White Dragons. So Wolf, what's been going on with your channel? Are you up to anything new?
It's mostly just creepypastas, like I've been doing these past few months. I do have a video. Oh, thanks, Pimp Demon, for subscribing to me. I do have a video that's coming out tomorrow. Yes, I have done Jeff the Killer. Jeff the Killer was fun to read. Um, I don't know who's seen that video yet, but for people who haven't seen it, I just want to say I really enjoyed pretending to be a lunatic. Um, I didn't tell it first, but I do now. But I always like to hear what people think of my videos, though. Um, but I do have a video coming out. Sorry, what?
Did you drop it on your channel, man? Did you drop that on your channel and I just missed it?
No. I think I did it a few months ago. It was I think it was the first video that I did after Halloween last year.
Okay, then I watched it a while back, and I just I watched it a while back, and between all the the YouTube I consume, it must have gotten put in the back burner of my mind.
But yeah, I do like reading the creepypastas where I can really act parts, because I've realized by doing creepypastas that a lot of voiceover work, or like voice artist work, I keep calling it voiceover, voice artist work, we do a lot of that here, which is good practice for people who want to become professional voice actors in the future. But I do have. So, what were you gonna say? I was going to say I have a new video that's coming out tomorrow evening. I'm going to be reading The Rake, me and a few friends. Yeah, I remember PA read that one. Yeah.
What's that, man?
I said you read The Rake, right, PA?
Yes, fun fact, the Rake is my favorite cryptid. It is literally the perfect hunter. It's small, it can blend in, it's stealthy as hell, it can get inside your head, and man, every part of its body is a weapon. It is literally the perfect killer.
I first saw The Rake. I actually first got into creepypastas through Minecraft, because there was apparently a creepypasta mod in Minecraft. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Well, basically, it's like it adds a new dimension to the game, and there's like a few creepypasta characters that like can be spawned in. It's only like a handful of characters compared to all the creepypastas that are on the internet, but it's like it's some of the more iconic ones. Like Jeff the Killer is there, Smile Dog is there, The Rake is there, Mothman, Slenderman, Squidward from Squidward Suicide, and then a few others. But I remember seeing the Minecraft version of The Rake, and I remember thinking to myself, that looks like Gollum.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar thought. I looked at Golem and I looked at the Rake, and I'm like, why does Golem look like the cartoon version of the Rake? Just you look at the Rake, you're like, that thing's horrifying. And you look at Golem, you're like, did they animate you? Is that what just happened here?
Yeah. maybe that's how they came up with the idea. What do you mean? How did I handle doing Jeff the Killer Pimp Demon? It's not that bad of a story. I mean, some of it does sound a little bit far fetched, but it's not that bad.
No, and that's the thing. Get me.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't draw either, Mia. So don't feel bad. I can't draw either. Although my brother is a very good artist. He's actually the one who drew my icon photo. Yeah. Um. Um. I actually didn't really enjoy creepypastas in the beginning. I mostly liked the true scary stories. Um. Because I felt like the creepypastas, for one thing, I thought they were too scary, too graphic, and also they just didn't like. Some of them were just. I didn't like the stories that were like unrealistic sounding. Um, but I think I really got into creepypastas when I saw a couple of countdown videos where there were people like just talking about the creepypastas, and they just did like a brief overview of the story. Um, and after listening to it in that form, I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a pretty neat story." Um, and then after a little while, I listened to the stories themselves, and they sounded pretty good. And then once I figured out how to read creepypastas, I ended up going for those stories.
So so Dark Horse, not Dark Horse. Yeah, I was gonna say Pimp Demon. I Jeff the Killer is not actually a bad story. It's got decent character development. It's got a good plot to it. The only reason I think I can see that people don't dislike it as much as some people say they do is because it's been overdone and oversaturated, and I can see like people not enjoying it after a certain amount of time after so many people doing it. But like as a whole, that story's not bad.
The one thing that I don't. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
Nature's temper, nature's temper. You can always call him Scott too. I mean, he's publicized his name, so I mean, he really does. Just
Honestly, where is it again? Oh, okay. Um, for me, the one thing that I don't like about Jeff the Killer is that like with the three bullies in the story, they're like what like a year younger than Jeff, and Jeff was like 12 years old at the time or 13 years old, right? Yeah. So Well, it didn't make sense to me that like 11 or 12-year-old kids would be wielding knives and then later in the story they were wielding guns. And I remember when I read that and listened to it before reading it, and I remember thinking to myself, that sounds a little bit like unrealistic that such little kids of like such kids of such age is would be wielding weapons like that. Um, I would expect like teenagers, like maybe 15 or 16, to be like rebellious teenagers to be wielding such weapons, but not people of such young age. But other than that, I enjoyed the story.
Yeah, but you asked me about character development, like, and not only like the first part focuses mostly on Jeff, but as you go through the series, they start to focus on Jane, who becomes Jane the Killer. Then they focus on Lou, Rand, all the other side characters. They actually they give them their own character development, their own plot. And in fact, in Randy's case, you see an actual redemption arc in the story, where he goes from being this shit bully to actually being, a semi decent adult, because you realize how bad of a childhood that guy had. Like, it was horrible, and he just they delve into that, and he's actually remorseful for the shit that he did to Jeff. So like, yeah, there's character development, pimp.
And I'm
I thought
sorry.
Randy
It's not
died
just part
in the
one.
first
There's not just
story.
part one of. No.
I'm
I thought
sorry.
Randy died in the first story.
I thought he did kill him in the first
No,
story.
not in part one.
Yeah, and in the first story, Jeff killed him. He punched him in the heart.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen again.
Pretty.
That's okay. Our course tale
Yeah.
says, "What would you do, Wolf, if you see a rake and a wendigo at the same time, but different distance from each other in the forest?"
I would probably, if I had a camera with me, I would take a picture, and then I would run.
I would
Um,
run like hell and hope that in hopes that two alpha predators decided to fight over who gets to kill me, giving me enough time to get away.
yeah. Um,
So I'm
I
gonna
mean,
use.
I would be like, I was gonna say, I've often found myself thinking about hunting those creatures, but if I were to ever to find them, I would probably have a gun with me. So if they tried to attack me, I would just shoot it.
Hmm.
Although if the legends of the Wendigo are true, a gun would literally only anger it.
Yeah.
It'd be like it would be like it would be like hitting us with like a beanbag, not from a gun, just literally you throwing a beanbag at it, going, it's like looking like, did you just? Now I'm gonna eat you.
Um, I wonder what a tranquilizer dart would do.
That's an interesting
Yeah,
thought.
that is. I've never thought about trying to trank one of those suckers. Give it give it a give it like a tranquilizer from like an elephant gun, just to make sure, because I feel like, especially the Wendigo is always hungry, so I feel like it has really fast metabolism. So you'd want to have that. You'd need a hefty dose of a tranquilizer to put that sucker down.
Enough
Yeah.
to put down 4
That's
elephants.
yeah. I'm very careful about the things that I would bring because I know some of those creatures are pretty strong. So I'll probably bring both tranquilizer and regular guns, so that if it doesn't go under, then I'll just try and kill it.
Just bring a flamethrower.
Um,
If it's gotten close enough, if it's gotten that close to me that a flamethrower would hit it, then I'm like, I'm just like, either fire's gonna kill it or I'm going down. I'm going down swinging.
Yeah.
maybe the wendigo is the sleeping wendigo. Speaking of which, where is he?
He's probably sleeping, as his name implies.
This is true.
But
I find it.
so I was gonna ask you earlier, Have you ever played D&D, Wolf?
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
You know what a mimic is, though, right?
When people mimic things, yeah.
No, no. What a
Well,
mimic
no,
is.
in video games, a mimic is like a treasure chest that when you walk up to it, it comes to life and tries to and attacks you. There's this
Oh,
person who I follow who does who does comedy skits called Dungeon the Cantrip Cast, and he does Dungeon Master Therapy. And I saw the title of his last video, and it's literally titled "Mimic Tacos," and I'm just like, why? But also, why does that make sense? Because they're already in the appropriate shape to be a mimic.
Okay, so two stories with mimics. Okay, first one you probably PA's probably heard it. A party of adventurers go into a bar and they're fully armed. The bartender looks at them and says, "Why so many weapons?" And the paladin turns to him and says, "Mimics." And the bartender laughs, and the whole group laughs, and the table laughs, and the group kills the table.
that poor table.
The table was a mimic. But the other one is when D&D Online first came out. And don't ask me what year because I can't remember right at the moment. My husband and Jareth, our housemate, was home. And I was at work and they were playing it because, well, they were home and it was out and they had it and I didn't because I was at work. So I come home and they've been playing. I don't even know how long they've been playing. I come in the front door and what I hear is, "It's gonna eat me!" And I move around the house and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Apparently my husband ran into a mimic in game. And he activated it. And that was his
Oh no.
response was, "It's gonna eat me!" And it was as loud as he could say it. I'm not doing it very loud, but yeah. It was as loud as he could do it, and wow. It was just, that's what I came home to, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to get in this game right now. I like mimics. Mimics are fun to play with, especially when you're the dungeon master. Mimics everywhere.
Yeah.
Some of this is rather beyond me because I've never really played. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. I'm not really like that much of a gamer anyway. I feel like the only game I've ever really played regularly was Minecraft.
Mm. Well, you got the Endermons in Minecraft. I think that's what they're called.
The what?
Endermons?
The tall purple things?
Yes.
Yeah, they're called Endermen.
Yeah. Enderman, which is based on Slenderman.
Yeah, yeah.
It was funny because my
there's actually
granddaughter's telling me the whole story of Slenderman because I asked her what the Enderman was. And she's 5 years old at the time.
Oh no. A 5-year-old knowing about
Listen.
Slenderman? That's
My
not
child.
good.
It's my child.
Listen,
No.
the only Slender Man that matters is the one in the universe of my roommate is Slender Man. Okay.
That's where I was going with the story of Nature's Temper. I'm still waiting for Four Shot's story to finish, but that is, and I'm not giving any spoilers away, but Jeff the Killer is in that story.
Bro, Four Shot just wrote an awesome ass story with that. My roommate is Slender Man. It was great. My name's Jeff.
Yes, it was. It was
That
great.
part killed me.
My name's Jeff. Are you? Don't
But
start.
Wolf, Wolf, if you've never had the privilege of watching my roommate Slenderman, go to Nature's Tempers channel and watch it, man. You'll enjoy it.
Nature's Temper.
Nature's temper.
Yes,
Is it Temple?
temper.
Temper.
Temper. That's what I thought.
Temper.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to give it a look.
But yeah, dude. Four shot bot or four shot pasta, really did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about Nature's Temper is he's really good at like just giving different characters different voices.
It's hard to believe that that's one guy doing all those voices in that storyline. There are so many different characters in there, and every one of them's got a different accent, a different tone. I mean, he did so good. Um, yes, I'm gushing. Oh my goodness.
So Wolf, have you ever tried to writing your own stories?
I have done it in the past. If you look at the very first videos that I ever made, those were all originals. I mostly did that to get my channel off the ground, until I could figure out how to get other stories that other people have read. But yeah, like I have mostly true-esque stories as originals, but none of them happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gaming stories, stalking, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ding dong ditch. Actually, I have a ding dong ditch video from like way back when. I think it was like a year old at this point, almost 2. And that, for some reason, that video has done so much better than most of my other videos. If you go down to where the video, like when it was made, it's just surrounded by like a bunch of 50 views or like 70 views, and then that one has like over 2,000, almost 3. And I remember thinking to myself, like, how is that video doing so much better than all the others?
Don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Maybe that your tags, maybe you tagged it really well and people just kept finding it.
yeah, that's possible. Or
Oh,
there was something in it that the algorithm picked up on. And I got a story about that in a few minutes. But yeah, that's something.
yeah. If you go to my channel, if you go to like the homepage of my channel, I have like a bunch of things like set up, like different rows that people can look at.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the videos in chronological order, and then there's most viewed videos, and then there's a couple of my playlists highlighted, collaborations, and then creepypastas, and then I have playlists in general, and then I have channels. So if you go to my best viewed video strip on my homepage, it's right there. It's right there at the beginning. It's like 2.4 or 2.5K views, and it's insane.
Nice, dude.
So there's because I've been following this court case. I've been hanging out a little bit with LawTube and the group in LawTube, which I knew some of them before, and now I know a lot more of them. But there's a lawyer in Virginia, Fairfax County, Virginia, that also does woodworking, and kind of did a echo of what we did to UPA to him. And he's called Law and Lumber.
Oh, really?
His real name is Rob, and right now I think his name is Law and Lumber. I think he's going to stay with that, but he wasn't really sure yet. But so when he actually made the channel, nobody knew he'd made the channel. He came into one of the LawTube streams, and they were talking, and everything. He said, well, we'd give you his YouTube, but he doesn't actually have one. He says, well, actually, and he let it out. And by the end of the week, he had 5,000 subscribers. No videos, just subscribers.
Dang.
So earlier this week, he put out his first 2 videos, and one of them, basically, it's he did a from testimony. He did a rebuild of damage that was supposedly done to a bed. And he showed how that damage couldn't actually have been done the way that the person said it was, but pointed out that there's a knife on the bed in the picture. And the only way that you could make that sort of damage would be with a knife or something of that kind. So that video got picked up in the first day by a media source. Okay. And they did an article on it and said, who is this guy? And they put out that video. Well, by the end of the day, that video had 100,000 views.
Dang.
2 days ago, and I haven't checked today, I probably should have, but 2 days ago it had more than 1 million views. There's been 2 more articles. One of them, I know they did not watch that video because they're equating it to the TikTok videos that are making fun of things that are going on in the trial, like somebody saying, I don't remember for 2 hours. Literally 2 hours of testimony. I don't remember was the only thing this woman said.
Wow.
So yeah, they made fun of that, which it's kind of funny, you know. But
It's like just a bunch of I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember. It's like, wow. But yeah,
She's on repeat.
Can we still just talk about the highlight of that trial where her lawyer literally objected to his own question
that
because
was so funny.
he didn't think about what he said before he said it, and then he's like, objection, and the judge like, it's your question.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Jesus.
But
What is
Highlight of that?
what is
literally the highlight,
what is
the
this?
highlight of that trial?
What is this trial about?
this is the defamation trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Oh, okay.
And we
Yeah.
probably, if we were,
I wasn't sure if that was it.
Yeah, probably if we were monetized, we'd just lose our monetization, but we're not, so it doesn't matter. Ha ha ha. Come and get us, Amber. Sorry. Yeah, she has a habit of saying that people online are bots. Anybody that is supportive of Johnny is a bot. She has doxed.
As in, like they bribed them to do it.
Well, they're machines. They're not real. They're not.
Oh, I thought you said bought.
Yeah, bought. Well, she also claims that Johnny's paid everybody to hate her. But
No, I don't need to be paid to hate someone who clearly has no soul.
have you listened to part of her? She's been on the stand for 2.5 days before the break. And oh my gosh, this woman. Johnny's
What's
testimony.
up, Silver Underworld? How you doing?
Hey, Johnny's underwear. Oh, Johnny's testimony had me
Johnny's
crying.
underwear.
Yeah,
Oh.
Johnny's underwear. Johnny's testimony had me crying and so forth because this man has been through hell. And this woman continues to put him through hell. She's even doing it there in the courtroom. It's horrible. Her testimony triggered me in other ways. And her case is blown. Her counter case is blown. There's
What
no way they will ever get it.
I still
What
remember
exactly
the
is
fact that
going
she got an
on?
expert on.
Okay, so
So the trial is about is him suing her for defamation for saying that he beat her when clearly he didn't.
right,
So
Yeah,
he's trying to sue her because
and
she made him she had him get fired. Essentially, he got fired from jobs that he had lined up. No one wants to touch him with a 10-foot pole now because of this shit. So he's suing her for defamation. But she had a
that's really
specialist
bad.
come on. Yeah, she had a specialist come on, and I
oh
can't
my
remember
god,
what specialist it was. But the
Dr.
woman essentially
Hughes.
said that Johnny Depp should have let her beat him because he's a man.
Yeah, and men can't be victims, or they can only be abusers.
That makes me mad.
And that's why I'm so into
Right?
this. That is why I'm so
That
into this
legit makes me
case.
angry
Because,
because I know about like I've heard about like abuse against people and how there's sexism, like it's like reverse sexism,
hmm
where it's like if a man beats a woman, they say the guy's filthy, lock him up. But if a woman beats a man, everybody's just like, oh, whatever.
and that's one of the things that a lot of us have been saying to people. You take what she says, even though obviously she's lying, you take what she says he did to her, and if she had been a man, or if she had been a man doing it to him, and he was a female, would
It's
anybody
gotten to the point where
question
I
it?
sometimes
And that,
I don't know.
you
What
know,
were you What were you gonna say, Wolf?
I was gonna say it's gotten to the point where I sometimes am afraid that if I get in an abusive relationship, if she is physically hurting me, that no one will listen to me.
well, and that's one of the reasons why I
I,
think this case is so
I
important. It's important for male victims, especially because it's showing that men can be victims too. But it's also showing
I
that,
have friends. So I have friends who aren't in abusive relationships, but see things like this happen, and he's like, I don't understand what the problem is. Women want equal rights. They want to be treated just like a man, right? If that's the case, equal rights, equal fights. You lay hands on me, I lay hands back on you, and it's fair game because you want to be treated equal.
well, it's not real. In this case, it's not really equal rights. You know, he made a text, and that's another thing. She's got 10 years of his texts because one of his former lawyers accidentally sent every text he's ever sent in those 10 years to her legal team. And texts that she was never meant to see are being used against him. You know, that it's just,
Isn't
hmm.
that isn't that illegal?
It happened during the UK trial, so I don't know that anybody can do anything about it. But there again,
Uh,
there again, you know, she's clearly lying on things. She's saying uh she had cuts on her feet from glass. This is just one thing that she was saying. From glass that was on her feet and her legs and her arms from being dragged through glass of broken wine and liquor bottles. However, the day after this happened, she's wearing high heels in an airport and on an airplane. And the first thing she does when she gets back to LA is not go see a doctor. It's go change the name on the Range Rover to her name so that she has the license in her name. He actually said something, and I think it was to the doctor, where he said, I was acquired to make her famous. And I think that's true. She
That she just used him.
used him because she really blew up after they got married as far as her jobs and everything. She used him, and when his mother died, he was having financial trouble because his everything he had was embezzled from him. And that's when she was like, okay, I'm done with you. I'm going to go play with Elon Musk. I'm just, the woman is soulless is a good way to put it. PA. Soulless is a good way to put it. And the thing is, guys, I'm not saying that when I started looking at this, I wasn't on his side. I actually thought, well, they probably did something to each other, and she's just getting this out and getting away with it because, well, Me Too, and the woman, you got to believe all women, which I don't believe in either. Trust but verify. Remember that? Trust but verify.
Yep.
Listen but investigate. Innocent before proven until proven guilty. These are the things that our country was built on.
I've heard of innocent until proven guilty, but I feel like nowadays it's more like guilty until proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it absolutely is, which it shouldn't be. It's always it's on the it's on the not
It's
the
on
defendant
it's on the
prosecutor. It's on the prosecutor the burden's on the prosecutor to prove guilt. It is not on the defendant to prove their innocence. It is on the prosecutor to prove guilt.
Right.
That is how the jury the court system works. But people seem to forget that, and now if you hear something, you're like, oh, he's guilty, whatever. We don't care.
And he hasn't been able to bring this in, and we and the public know it because, well, it's come out in court case before. She has a juvenile record, and some of the people that lived in that town that she grew up in completely deny what she says is her quote unquote backstory. And some of them, and I don't have any proof of this because juvenile records are sealed, but she was driving with a suspended driver's license from a drinking and driving case that we can verify, which we would.
Oh, great! She had a DUI.
Yeah, she lost her license because of a DUI, and the reason we know that is because she was driving with a suspended license, and apparently she killed somebody.
What?
Manslaughter. Because
Jesus.
She was drunk and she had an accident and they died. But can't verify that, but that's what people that live in the town that she came from are saying.
Wow.
We know for a fact that in 2009, I think it was, she was arrested for abusing her then wife, Tasha Van Ree, and spent a night in jail. The only reason that Washington State let her go was because they were residents of California, and it would be hard to drag them back up there for the case to go to court. So she has actually got a history of abuse. Her mother and her sister, her mother has passed now, but her mother and her sister lived in fear of her because she would beat them.
This is Amber Heard we're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And, so, she has a history of this. Johnny has 50 years and suddenly he's going to start beating somebody? He's never done anything to anyone in 58 years. Well,
I honestly feel like even if the trial doesn't go in Johnny's favor, which I doubt it will. I mean, I doubt it won't. I feel like it won't really do that much bad to him because everybody knows what's really going on. Um,
There are still people who
like
are
the people have. I feel like there are still people that have side with her. I feel like, but still, I feel like a lot of people um, support Depp either way.
Mm-hmm. The only reason, and this is, and they were talking this morning. They said, well, I think they, and after looking at the tweet, they said, it looks like, she can't deny that she's tied to that title, so they're probably good to go. Um, who is that that's leaving? Okay, I'm gonna go to bed night. Yeah,
A good one, Pimp Demon.
we could sell those
Good
underwear
night, pimp.
for millions of dollars. They're silver. Um, but Johnny needs this win for more than one reason. First of all, if he doesn't win, we already know if he wins, she's going to say that it's the misogynist system putting down women that have been abused. Blah blah blah. We know she's going to do this. There's no doubt in my mind she's going to do it. But if she loses, she can't say, well, the court already found him guilty. He's never been found guilty. He's never even been charged. The police were called and didn't see anything. There was no damage to her. There was no damage to the property. They refused to write a report because there was nothing to report. So, yeah. He needs that win for that, and he needs the win to restore his reputation. And he needs it for every victim of abuse. In my mind. Male and female. Abuse has no gender. Male and female. You realize that they're the highest domestic abuse cases right now are in same-sex female couples.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They are the highest numbers right now. And she's in a same-sex female relationship.
Interesting.
With Eve Barlow.
Currently?
Yes.
I don't know who the hell that is.
She's a so-called reporter. And that's actually how the media sees her. Which is sad. She got kicked out of the courtroom for breaking the rules. She was texting in the courtroom, and then she actually she got lucky because the witness had been looking at doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing, but she faked evidence to get the witness dismissed from the stand. And like I said, if she hadn't been looking at and watched some clips of the trial, that would have been real problems. So she got lucky on that one.
Mm.
But yeah, I've been watching every day.
I've only seen like short things from YouTube.
Well, it's being streamed on YouTube, and I've generally watch 2 or 3 streams simultaneously. I really like
Jesus.
Auditing the Absurd is a male victim of abuse, and he's got Claire View on there she and Mandy have been following this case on her channel for 2 years. She actually got most of her information from Tug, which is the umbrella guy, and that Brian fella, which is on YouTube as Incredibly Average. And he's got all of the, all the audio you hear? He's got all those. And like Foreshot is narrating Roommate is Slender Man and working on having animation for it. He's animated some of these situations so you can see what she says happened. Or at least what she was saying happened at that time. She's changed the story again this time. So, and he's pointing out that too. He's bringing out that Brian was actually on Popcorn Planet last week, talking about things he was working on to put up on the channel. And then there's Legal Bites, which is basically all lawyers up there, and that's why I like watching them, because they're giving the legal, and one of my favorite lawyers is up there, Hogue Law from Virtual Legality, and he does gaming law on his channel, and he's usually in there, and I like Rick. I just like Rick. I mean, he was in a stream yesterday, and one of his lines was, "Hey, I'm the left leg on Voltron." And I'm just like, yes.
So, off topic, but back on the interview topic.
Sorry.
Since we've been talking about it for like an hour. Wolf, have you ever thought about animating any of your stuff, man?
No, not really. I have seen animations of stories, but I've never really thought of doing it myself, mostly because I don't know how. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's. I don't know. I've just never really thought about it.
What is?
Have you ever did think about it and wanted to learn? I know I'm not exactly sure how how well versed he is in it, but I know Reaper's Horror has been animating his stuff recently. So if you ever were interested in it, I'm sure he could give you a few pointers.
Nice.
There's a few YouTubers that have been doing that. Like I said, Foreshot is narrating My Roommate is Slender Man, and working on making a movie for each part. And then we've got I can't think of the first AA animator. Filia does
voice.
Yeah. I was going, Filia's done voices for him, and I can't think of his name right now. That's okay. I went into my bookmarks. I've been bookmarking narrators in my Chrome, and I went to my bookmarks, and I'm going, okay, where's Lone Wolf? I've got 3 PA Nightmares. I've got all these other characters, and I couldn't find Lone Wolf, and I'm going, I know he's in here. Well, if he was in there, I couldn't find you, but you're in there now because I added you. So I'm probably got you in there twice.
Awesome.
Not a bad thing. It just means when I'm going down the list, I'll see you twice.
Nice.
Oh, she's not real. Have you, on your channel, have you ever had a really, really, really bad comment made that just stuck in your head?
No, a lot of the comments I've received are pretty positive. The only comments that I've ever really gotten that were bad were just random links to inappropriate websites. I usually end up deleting those because they seem to be jokesters, just scammers. Mm-hmm. So But yeah, about that. But other than that, my comments are usually pretty positive. I usually, yeah, like I'm okay with constructive criticism
Yeah.
when people give me constructive criticism, just as long as they do it respectfully. You know, I don't like getting a bunch of hate,
Right.
although I haven't gotten that
Right.
yet.
This community is really good about giving constructive, respectful criticism.
Yeah. Although there are a couple of bad apples, however.
Every community's got them. Every community's got
Yeah.
them.
What are ours? Like the constable?
Mm. Yep. There's.
I wonder what he's doing.
I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah, well,
I think I blocked him.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's been doing. Fortunately, I don't know him personally, so you know, I don't have any side in this other than CCG's side.
Right. Oh well, I know him. During that time period, I was involved in some of that, and I think that's why I blocked him.
Mm. I didn't. Yeah, I mostly just knew. I just heard what other people were talking about, but I did see some of the comments that he had been sending CCG, and
Yeah.
it pissed me off that he would talk about her that way.
Yeah. Don't do
Well,
that.
he showed back up not too long ago and was starting to. He showed up back up not too long ago, attacking the sleeping Wendigo as well.
Yeah.
He's been attacking Wendigo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he showed back up like it was like a month or two ago, in Wendigo's comment sections, and was like started in on him, and we shut that down real quick too.
That's good.
Like I said, we every community has a few bad apples, and the good thing about our community is we usually catch them and do something
It's nice
to
that
stop it.
yeah, it's nice that in this community we protect each other.
Mm-hmm.
In that if you were to talk smack to one of us, you're the enemy of all of us.
Well, when he started out, was somebody else is using my account and doing that nonsense. And yeah, we shut that down. Because I mean, if somebody else is using your account, then why are they using your same tone and language?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, they like to say that you can't interpret tone and or like who's talking behind a keyboard, but that is a load of BS because my God, you can generally tell if you talk to a person long enough in like DMs or like text messages or whatever, you can tell you're talking to that person when and you notice when you're not talking to that person at the same time.
Well, it's when they say certain words or they misspell certain words every single time.
And don't
yeah,
make fun of my dyslexia.
I wasn't talking about you. I actually was talking about myself. I used to misspell slightly.
slightly.
Yeah. And every once in a while
Yeah,
I'll do it again. I'll still do it. But for some reason that word and I just have this really bad relationship. That sounds
well,
funny. That just sounds funny. Do you have anything like that where you got an idiom that just bugs you when you're writing?
sometimes, although I can't think of any off the top of my head. Um, it's mostly just like like with certain words, I'm not sure if I should put an e at the end or if it's just like if it's like ely or just ly.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever spelled the word before and then looked at it and go, "That's wrong," but then your computer tells you it's right. So you just double check how to spell the word before, and you stare at it and go, "This word looks wrong, but it's spelled right."
Well,
Yeah.
not
I had
before, but
that,
I've done it with other words.
that happen yesterday. I was like, "How do you spell before?" And I was because I'm like, my computer's not telling me it's wrong, but this looks so wrong. And then I had to ask Google how to spell before, and it spelled it before. It spelled it for me. And I was like, "That it's spelled right, but God, it looks all this like the spelling just looks all kinds of weird."
Yep.
Damn humans and your weird ways of spelling words.
Well, it's like color. We spell color COLOR. But if you're English and you're using English, it's COLOUR.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And among has a U in it.
Huh.
And
Yeah.
there's all these words that have U's in English that we who speak American do not have an U in them.
It's
I feel
funny because
like
every time I spell the word among, I put a U in it
Mm-hmm.
because my
with
brain just
me,
tells me that there's a U that belongs there. Sorry, go ahead, Wolf.
I was gonna say I've seen like the word center in English form, the R and the ER is flipped.
Yeah. Theater is that way too.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, it's interesting. We say we speak English, but we really, really don't. We really don't.
We speak a bastardized offshoot of English.
And it's not even as good as Canadian.
Someone, so I told someone that we like to bastardize the English language, and not only that, but we like to change words that once meant something completely different, and now are just usually are like highly offensive.
Oh,
Like
see,
there was a time like back in England, whenever someone like just in the general world general, or someone if they drove a cart through a checkpoint without being hindered, searched, or just harassed, they'd be like, "Yeah, I cleared the checkpoint unmolested." And now
hmm
the word molested just completely something different.
well, technically, the definition of the word didn't
And
change, but the connotation, what you associate it with, changed. It's like see you next Tuesday.
or like what they
That
I'm not gonna say the word because
that's why I said
we'll get
see
our
you next.
asses in trouble. But
That's why I said see you next Tuesday.
yeah, no, no. The other. There's another word. It's a three-letter word, starts with an F. Yeah, it means cigarette in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
That word.
Well, it means kindling in England. Because you
But like,
use
and
it to
and then
start
and then we have
fires.
it here as a slur for yeah, and then we have it here that's a slur for a certain group of people.
And it's just, yeah, and I think as writers and as narrators, we have to be careful with what are we really reading? Are we reading English or are we reading American? American also has words that aren't in English. Hispanic is not an English word. Hispanic is Spanish. Um, Kindergarten is German. So we've not only bastardized English, we've grabbed words from other languages and just tossed them into our vocabulary. Kindergarten.
English is is just a bastardized offshoot of a lot of languages.
Kindergarten is German for child's garden. Literally. So kinder is child. So mm. Another word that's hard to spell. Congratulations. Because how do you spell congrats? It's not the way you.
Congrat.
How do you spell congratulations?
ULATIONS.
But the T that you stop at for congrats is a D.
No, it's not.
It's one of the things I got in trouble with in school.
You know what kills me? That there's a D in fridge, but not in refrigerator.
Yeah, that's that's another one where the D took the place of the T. It's the opposite way, but yeah. Where is my drink? Ah, water. Water. Agua.
So, Wolf, after the rake, because I saw you have a premiere for that already lined up.
Tomorrow.
What's your next video?
My next video is Candle Cove.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. PA's in that one.
Awesome.
Yes, I am.
It's going to be me, PA, hair raising narratives, and then someone else. I'm hoping it's going to be Marie Lives the Horror, but she hasn't sent me her part yet, and she's been unresponsive to my messages.
Uh-oh.
So I wonder if I'll be forced to replace her or not.
Well, if you are, you know where I am.
It's always unfortunate. It's always unfortunate when you got to replace someone that you asked to do lines for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out like potential replacements.
Yeah.
Because I do need a female role. I'm not sure. I'm debating whether or not I should ask Danny, but I don't know if she's like how busy she is.
Yeah. I know that woman is doing a lot.
Oh, I pushed
Yeah.
Filia too, but Filia has no voice right now. That would be a problem.
There's also like Miss Creepy Tales, Lady Spookaria, Lady Nopingham.
Yep, me.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to see both of those. Actually.
Yeah, the Rake is going to be good.
Oh. Yeah.
But Candle Cove, yeah, but Candle Cove, I'm especially excited for.
I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for Candle Cove. That's that's a fun story.
It is fun. Yeah, I really enjoy doing the original creepypastas. Well, not the original creepypastas, the iconic ones, because it's fun reading those stories.
I'm actually gonna start doing one here soon. It's a 11-part story. And I'm kind of excited about it too. I can't remember the name. It's I want to say Wicker House Saga, but that's not right.
Reminds me of the Wicker Man.
Yeah, it does.
But there is, I think, like one really good iconic creepypasta that I recommend is Mr. Widemouth.
Yes. I was
I
right.
like Mr. Widemouth.
It is the Wicker House
You
Saga.
know, I've contemplated doing that one a few times.
What? PA?
I've contemplated doing that story a few times.
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
think I could do that one because personal history. Um,
I would have to give it a fun, that thing like a
and
fun, like, this little creepy freaking voice.
when I did Mr. Widemouth, I did a Gollum voice, Gollum-esque
yeah,
voice for Mr. Widemouth.
my precious.
I'd probably go with something like this.
Oh golly.
See, right there. She's like, oh golly. She's like, yeah, that's already creepy. Don't do that anymore, please.
Never do that again.
But why?
For a second, I honestly thought that sounded like 42. But yeah, I not to toot my own horn, but I also am proud. I'm pretty happy about like the thumbnail that I created for Mr. Widemouth because I couldn't find any good photos for the story.
Cool.
But for the thumbnail for Mr. Widemouth, if you look at the thumbnail for that video on my channel, that's actually some concept art of the Cheshire Cat.
Oh.
Because I got into Alice in Wonderland at that time, so I was like, well, I can't find any good pictures of Mr. Widemouth, so why don't I look up pictures of the Cheshire Cat and maybe I'll get lucky. And I did.
Nice.
Because he's got a wide mouth.
Yeah. And the picture that I chose is just the eyes and the smile, and that's all I really needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just recently looked at that at your thumbnail for that, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Let's go jump on the trampoline, but there's nothing down there. It's there, you just can't see it.
Yeah. Yep. And then juggling knives.
Oh yeah, juggling knives. I don't think my parents would like. Oh, they don't have to know.
Yeah, they don't have to know.
But my mom's gonna be coming
Bro.
soon. Oh. God, that. See, the thing is that I can see how that could happen, and that makes it even scarier. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
There's just that element, and that's what those good creepypasta stories, that's what a good story, even one that's as outlandish as a werewolf or a vampire story, if it's got an element in it that you can actually see possibly being real, possibly happening, maybe not in the exact way the story tells it, but happening, it makes it even scarier.
Yeah. As I've come to group like the creepypastas into three separate sections. There are the ones that are completely real, that are confirmed to have existed. Then there are the ones that are completely far-fetched, and then there are the ones in the middle, which aren't true exactly, but they are like similar things could happen.
Right. I mean, we're never going to see Siren Head. I mean, let's be serious. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But a guy in the woods who steals children, and he's really tall, and yeah, that could happen. Slender Man.
For me, it's like
Or, you know, or you could take the just the other element of it and just you know, Mr. Widemouth is literally just a figment of a child's imagination, and what literally, like, it's literally what's going on is they essentially, like, hallucinate this thing being real and end up hurting themselves to the point where they die. Like, it could literally be just a child's imagination,
Yeah.
taken into to an extreme form.
And the other side of it, if you want to take it that way, and I don't know if you believe in the paranormal or not, Wolf. I can't remember the answer to that question.
I do.
What if it was something paranormal being the child's imaginary friend?
That probably is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's where I take that one, as a matter.
Yeah. But there are some ones that are like I said, there's some in the middle, like Jeff the Killer.
Yeah.
Something like that could happen. Some things like that have happened. Same thing with like the Goat Man. I'm sure there are rumors of people seeing goat men in like Alabama, or like in some like Maryland.
Melonhead.
There are stories like No End House, which are completely far fetched because, that those types of things are not real.
Right.
But then there are other stories that are completely true, which is why when I go to Key West on vacation, I'm visiting Robert.
Robert the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, it's just, if it's got that element that it could be true. Now, granted, nothing is going to be as horrible as something that is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad the Russian sleep experiment story isn't real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although I feel like it's based off of something that did happen.
Well,
who knows what the Russians were up to?
It was actually based off of a
Right.
Japanese experiment during World War II, but I'm not going to get into that because that's even worse. What happened there was even worse than what we see in the Russian sleep experiment, and that's the thing, is real life is so much worse than anything we can write.
Actually, while we're on the topic of the Russian sleep experiment, please ignore my dog. That's my dog Rocco. If you can hear him.
Hi, Rocco.
Hello, Rocco, you puppers.
Yeah, and you guys see pictures of him on Twitter. I put pictures of him on my Twitter.
I've seen him.
Yeah. One thing that I don't like about the Russian sleep experiment is that I feel like one of the patients end up like dies more than once.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it.
Like what? Because there's the first one was the one that was killed by the other four, that was found on the 15th day, right?
Right.
Then there's the guy whose spleen ruptured and he bled to death.
Right.
And then there was the guy, and then like going to the other side, there was the guy who did the big speech about like insanity just before he got shot at the very end.
Right.
And then there was the mute subject who also got shot.
Yeah, but there was another one that got eaten, and I think that's the one that was the double.
Because the fifth guy, because the middle guy, I felt like he died. First, they said he died when like he was put under anesthetic, and then when his eyes closed, his heart stopped, and then the same thing was like he was strapped to the oh god, what's the name of that machine that reads brain waves?
Oh, the electric.
EKG.
The EMI detector.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he was put on the EMI, then he fell asleep, and then as he fell asleep, his the EEG, that's what it is, the EEG monitor, it flatlined, and then he died. So I remember thinking to myself, did that guy die more than once?
Mm-hmm. I think he did.
Is that?
Yeah.
Did I just confuse myself, or is it just poor writing, like on the writer's part? Is it just a mistake?
it's probably just a mistake on the writer's part, but it's done in such a way that you really have to be paying attention to get it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's I've asked writers before. I said, how do you keep all your characters straight? Because I write mine out and I give them a little bit of this is what they're doing in the story after it, so that I know unless they're a major character, they don't get a whole lot of writing as far as my notes on them. But I make notes on my characters so that I can keep them straight.
Yeah.
If Dick's,
So that's the one thing that I don't like is inconsistency with characters. Especially if it occurs in the same story.
I make timelines too, where I say, okay, they were born at this time, and this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. So they were this age when this happened. So this could not have happened at that age. So I have to change that. That has to go somewhere else or not happen at all. It's
yeah.
And that has happened a couple times.
Yeah. But I remember when I heard that story for the first time, and I remember thinking to myself, like, wait, did that guy die more than once? But I ended up thinking, like, oh, well, I probably wasn't paying attention fully, so I missed something. But then when I ended up reading it on my channel, I'm like, all right, this is my chance to, like, really look at the story and see for myself, like, what happened. But then even when I read it myself, I'm like, I still don't get it. It was just like I just couldn't grasp it.
Right.
Nothing that I thought of in my head made it more make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It's just it's interesting. When you find little Easter eggs like that. I guess that's what you would call that, sort of.
I've taken to writing my characters on the top of the story, just to ensure that I don't accidentally forget their name or forget they exist.
And the characters that I give full names, I need there has to be a reason for a full name. I mean, you'll get a first and a last name, and sometimes you won't get a last name. But if you get a first, middle, and last name, you're pretty predominant in the story.
You got a name that I've considered you for longer than a minute. But you're still gonna die.
Well, that's with your characters. The story isn't over until everybody's dead with you. I know this.
Exactly. It's just facts of life here. It's just, unless you can feasibly give me a legitimate excuse, unless you can give me a legitimate excuse why this person is able to survive, then they must die.
Guys, I had to step away for a quick second.
Well, actually, we need to wrap it up.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how long this was going to go.
Yeah, we're at 1:31 now, and we usually only go 1:30, 1:45. So, you've got Rake coming out tomorrow night, right?
Yep.
So, keep an eye out for that premiere. PA.
It's gonna be.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my dog is going nuts. It's good. Yeah, the premiere is already set up. It's gonna be at this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my already. Sorry. That is when I always premiere. I always premiere on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's because I'm trying to keep that consistency going so that it's easy for people to remember. It's like, oh, it's Sunday, it's almost 8 o'clock. Let's see if Lone Wolf has anything set up for us. But usually my system is during school semesters I premiere bi-weekly, and then during breaks I premiere weekly.
Cool. And
although I am currently I'm currently thinking about I may put a poll out on my community tab, but I might as well ask you guys. I'm currently thinking about changing the times I premiere during the winter season because I've noticed that, like Ladies Bukaria, for example, I've noticed that during the summer months, her streams are at 9:30 p.m. my time, but then during winter months, her streams are at like 7:30 p.m. my time or like 8:30 p.m. my time, and I've noticed that sometimes, like, I don't know if that is like an immediate contradiction to what I do at 8 o'clock each day, but
It could be.
I sometimes wonder if during the winter months if like not a lot of people show up to my premieres because Lady is streaming at the same time. So I'm thinking about during the winter months moving my premieres down to like 6 p.m. EST instead of 8 p.m. When like the daylight savings gets switched or something.
Yeah, and they've passed a bill to get rid of daylight savings. I just don't like the bill.
I'm honestly I'm excited for that because I really love it because I really hate it actually when it gets pitch black after like before 5 in the afternoon.
Well, I don't.
It's it's 7:30 right now where I live, and I'm pretty sure it's still light out.
Okay, so I think we should stay on standard time all the time. But the way the bill's written, we stay on daylight savings time all the time. And my problem,
I honestly don't mind that.
my problem with it is there are places in the country that don't do daylight savings at all. And you're kind of screwing them over. You know, they're in the mountain time zone or they're in the central time zone. And by doing that, you're cutting an hour that they usually would have had. You're putting them in a different time zone. So it's that's why I think it should all be standard. But you know, Congress is do their own things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I honestly enjoy the summer months a lot better than the winter months for multiple reasons. I'll just shoot off a couple here off the top of my head. For one thing, during the winter months, it's cold. It's bitterly cold. It's usually very cloudy and gray, even when it's not raining or snowing. It's just cloudy overall. It gets dark after 5 p.m. or before 5 p.m. Like maybe like around 4:30 is when it starts to get dark. You know, when it snows, there's like snow all over the place, and it's like hard to walk. Sometimes if it's really windy, the wind can really sting your face. And also all the trees are bare. There's like no leaves on the trees, and everything just looks dead. But in summer, it's warm, it's sunny, the birds are singing, the trees are blossoming, some of them, and it's just green, and and also the days are longer, and it just seems like everything in summer is just alive. You know, that's why I like I want to live further south further south in the country when I get older. More specifically Florida, because even in winter it's still pretty warm outside and sunny, and also I'm pretty sure palm trees never lose their fronds, which is great because I love palm trees. Palm trees are like my favorite trees, mostly because they represent, in my mind, the tropics, which I absolutely love. I love all things like jungle and tropical and things like that. That's my like paradise.
You will never catch me dead living in Florida, man. That is literal hell on.
My mom's from Miami.
My grandmother lives in Florida, and every time we go to visit her in summer, I feel like I'm going to freaking die. So I could never live there.
Well, I mean, with Florida, if it's like, I mean, because I have an uncle and aunt who lives there with 2 sons, so sometimes we go down and visit them for a couple of days. But in their house, they have like a built-in pool and hot tub, and I think that's the case with a lot of homes in Florida. So it's like during the summer when it's really really hot, you could just like you could go to the beach, or you can just go in your private pool.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reasons why I want to live in Florida for one thing, like I said, the sunny, like why it's sunny and warm all year, but also because it'll be nice to take my kids to Disney World whenever I want.
If it's
You
still
know,
there.
if it's still there.
There's going to be a court battle here coming up because Disney put out a statement and the Florida governor and legislature didn't like it, and they have retaliated against Disney in a way that it's not constitutional by the U.S. or Florida Constitution, and it's going to cost the taxpayers in the areas around Disney millions of dollars if it happens. We're talking, you're not bringing up my taxes 25%, you're bringing up my taxes 75%. So it's going to be a First Amendment fight because Disney, in the entity that they are being in this case, are an individual. They're seen as an individual.
Oh.
So
is Disney in the right here, or
Disney's in the right?
Or is Florida in the right here?
No, Florida's in the
Yeah, I
right.
honestly
Holy
feel
shit,
like
that's a first. I mean, all hell is Supreme Overlord Disney.
I honestly feel like if Disney ends up getting closed down, a lot of people are going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Disney is like the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
Listen, Disney has more money than Disney has more money than God. I think they're.
Well, and that's what it is that the government retaliated against an individual for something the individual said. That is a free speech violation. And that's where it's going to come down. Hadn't happened exactly yet, but I'm sure they've got their lawyers working on it.
Well, I hope everything works out in favor of Disney. But
right.
But what I was saying, like I was saying before, just the principle itself of like one of my son or my daughter comes home and be like, "Daddy, I got straight A's on my report card." It'd be like, "All right, great, we're going to Disney."
That's what my uncle did with my cousins.
Yeah, because it'd be nice if you don't have to pay for a plane or a hotel unless you want to stay there for a couple of days. But
True.
If you live close to the area, all you have to pay for is admission and gas.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a place to charge your car if it's electric.
Right. So completely off topic, guys. I think you might laugh at this. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw Christopher Walken will play the Emperor in Dune Part 2.
Oh no.
And then it continues. Because we deserve nice things sometimes.
Wait, who's Christopher Walken? That name sounds familiar.
Christopher Walken is a very well-known character actor. Usually he plays bad guys. I think he's good for the Emperor. Although I'm going to die listening to him talk.
but that
because
I like Christopher Walken the way he talks. It's weird and eccentric, and I like it.
Oh, I'm not saying that I don't like it. I'm just saying I'm going to die with the way he talks because I just don't see the Emperor talking like that. But at least it's not.
I'm trying to look at it.
At least it's not William Shatner.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so and I know back to what we were trying to do. Wolf, you've got the premiere on tomorrow at 8:00.
8 p.m. my time. I'm not sure what time that is for you.
Are you Central or
Eastern?
Eastern. Okay, that's 7 p.m. for me. But 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, Eastern Standard Time.
No, it's daylight savings. We're still under daylight savings. PA, you've got Monday and Wednesday.
Yep. Monday is just going to be a compilation video, just because I don't really have time. I pulled 3 videos out last week. I need a break from recording for a few days, so I'm just going to pull a compilation video out for Monday, which is just going to be all the stories that I've done of Ray's, Ray Beeman. So it's going to be a 2-hour compilation of strictly Raven Beeman stories. And then I have for Wednesday, and this is kind of why I gave myself that, because I wanted to do part two and 3 of Tales from an Insomniac, which is going to be about an hour-long video. Time to record it properly.
Cool. I've got a couple.
They
of
are long
things.
videos, so so here's I don't know if this is just me or not, but I've been having issues with my views. They've been lower, so I started doing longer videos, and views have picked up some, and watch time has definitely picked up. So they seem to be working.
Cool. I've got a couple.
I'm trying to make
some
longer
work.
videos.
Yeah. I want to do, and yeah. PA is going to get me on this one because this is the 3rd week in a row I've said this. I want to do a live stream this week. It won't be a long one because I've got it all written out and not written out word for word, but written out as points I want to make in the live stream. But I really want to do a live stream before I put another video out. But I might end up putting a video out before I do the live stream. Just depends on what happens.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make longer videos on YouTube, but I find it hard to make longer videos if I'm reading creepypastas, because oftentimes with creepypastas you can only read like one story.
Well, and
here's what I've been doing for longer videos, because I don't have the attention span to read an hour-long story, right? So what I've been doing is I've been asking authors for 2 of their stories, and I've been doing a double feature of like 2 of those author stories, because I can sit down and record a 20, 25-minute story, then the next day sit down and record another 20, 25-minute story, and be okay with it. If my voice sounds different in the second story than the first story. But if I sit down and record an hour-long story and stop halfway through, come back the next day and record the other half, and my voice sounds different, it pisses me off.
No, it does that to me too.
Me too.
That's why I record everything in one whole take, regardless of how many mistakes I make.
Well,
but I think I have found a. What are you gonna say?
That's what happened with my last video. I originally recorded the beginning of the story and had it 3/4 done, and when I came back to finish it, my voice didn't sound the same, and my cadence was different, and I had a whole different look at the story. So I just said, I'm doing it all over again.
Yeah. I've noticed that, like, if I have to, like, stop recording and then do it another time, I've tried doing the, starting, like, not where I left off, but, like, a few paragraphs back from where I left off. So that way when I read what I haven't read before and play it back, it sounds somewhat similar.
Mm. I don't like the changes they made to Audacity, to where if you stop when you're recording, it starts another part of it. I don't like the breaks there. It just, something about them just turns me off.
Hmm. But
Well, what I do when I record, Wolf, is I record. If I mess up, I stop. I stop where I messed up, delete that part, and start back up at that sentence or the next sentence, wherever, I'll delete it and go back, because that's how Raven has
That's how I do it.
That's how Raven edits, and I try. I used to do it all in one take, like you did, and the amount of mistakes I make are it's just ungodly. So it took way too long to edit that. So it takes longer for me to record, but then whenever I go to edit the story, all I have to do is edit out the breaths and just make sure everything's spaced properly, and I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to do what you did, but even that the cadences sounded different. So I remember the first time I did it the way I currently do it was with No End House. When I read that a few months ago, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going no matter how many mistakes I make, and it sounded a lot better. And also with when there's an instance where I like make just a bunch of mistakes in a row, I can just highlight the entire thing and then just get rid of it in one swipe. And also what's nice is that like if I'm reading a certain phrase, if I read it in multiple times, if there's a certain part of the phrase that I like in one instance and then another part of the phrase that I like in another instance, I can put those two instances together to make it sound the way I want.
Yeah.
I've actually done that in a sense where I started a sentence, I fucked the second half up, but then I redid it, and I did it in the same take, so there wasn't any break in between it. And I listened to the one, and I was like, okay, I like that. And then I listened to the part where I messed it up, and I'm like, okay, that's got to go. Then I listened to the beginning of the sentence again. I don't like it as much as that one over there. So I'll delete that, and I'll just splice them together, and then they just always sound really good together.
Yeah.
I've done that too. But I generally that's why I think that the change to Audacity has screwed my brain up. Is because when I stop and I edit that part out and then I start recording again, it's got it's not really another file or another track, but it looks like another piece. Like they're two separate pieces. And I'm like, no, they're one take. They're one thing.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I noticed that myself, but I noticed that myself, but it doesn't really bother me because I just keep trucking along. I don't pay much attention to it.
It triggers me. I'm triggered.
Oh no, you're triggered.
But yeah, I'm still looking for longer stories, longer creepypastas, and I have found a couple. I found Ben Drowned is pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
Pen Pal is another lengthy one, and I also found another story.
Oh man.
Another story that's very, very long. It's called The Church in the Woods, something like that. I may read that one in the future because there's a certain musical track that I like called "From the Darkness" by COAG Music, and it sounds like something that you would hear in a church. So I would use that with the Church in the Woods story.
I love COAG music.
Yeah, and then there's also Ted the Caver.
Yeah, Ted the Caver.
I can't find Ted the Caver on the wiki. There are some creepypastas that I like and I want to read, but I can't find on the wiki because that's my standard. If it's not on the wiki, then I can't use it. So that's like Ted the Caver is not there. Psychosis is not there. The Dream of Every Dentist is not there. And 1999 is not there.
1999 is not there because 1999 has been wiped off the internet by the creator. They don't.
Oh, really?
They don't want anybody else doing it. That was one of the ones that got sociopathic. Sabian Lockhart.
Is it too much?
That's one of the ones that got his YouTube account shut down.
Was it like too much? The story?
No, it was copyright. It got taken down by copyright.
Oh.
And he had actually added to it.
Yeah, as far as Ted the Caver goes, if you ask Possessed Radio, you might actually have to ask the author. But I know Possessed Radio just did Ted the Caver, so if you ask him how he went about looking for the permissions, he'd be able to help you out.
And most of the
Nice.
authors are not a problem with it, but the guy that did 1999, he didn't even want. Sabian had written his own branch off of it, and he didn't even want that to be allowed to stay up. So, yeah, that was just.
Yeah.
1999 has been basically wiped off the internet.
Guy sounds like a dick, to be honest.
But there are still some good creepypastas that I still have yet to read, like Sonic.exe, strangest security tape I've ever seen,
Have
Suicide Mouse.avi.
you done Eyeless Jack yet?
No, I haven't done Eyeless Jack. Is that a creepypasta that's on the wiki?
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah. So I'll probably read Eyeless Jack. I might read the story of Mothman, or the Strider. Actually, no, I don't think Strider is on the wiki. But I also may read the story of the Seed Eater.
Ah.
I'd like to do all the Pokemon creepypastas because I always like Pokemon, so I might see if I could somehow manage to do those.
There's a Pokemon Go one now too. I saw that on the wiki the other day when I was looking
really?
for something else, and it's like, yeah, it's people.
You should send me a link to that.
I will try to remember.
All right, so guys, I think
we need to.
I may need to go soon because something is coming up.
We were heading that way, and then we got sidetracked.
All right. Alrighty.
Go ahead, PA.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I'm gonna give you my little spiel just because mine's shorter. If any of you guys want to do anything on this channel, just let me, Raven, 42, Mia, Bard, let us know what it is, when you want to do it, and we will get you a time slot set up if it's a live stream, and if it's a video, we also do those. If it just doesn't fit on your channel and you guys have something you want to do, just hit us up, and as long as it's something that's YouTube appropriate, that won't violate any of the guidelines, then we will absolutely help you out.
All right.
Nice.
And just remember, once you join the collective, you can leave nevermore.
Nevermore.
Misbehave.